do the intro pretty soon. When we get to our new place and get settled with everything. But yeah, so let's get back with the podcast. My apologies, I'm like on a round like that. I'm gonna try to get around like that. I got 45 minutes on my little podcast or so. And I do that purposely to give you guys attention. I know most folks' attention span don't really last an hour, so 30 to 45 minutes actually is the pinnacle. That's a tip right there. So on September 14, 2016, Motivational Wednesdays, I said, never let fear or shyness, this goes back to what I said about Tuesday, get a hold of where you need to be. Of course, when a new objective comes up, we tend to be scared of moving and failing. Failing is nothing but a life lesson. Here's why Motivational Wednesdays is so true. Because we've been taught in a systematic school system that if you fail, you're not going to succeed. That comes from ignorant ass teachers that don't know what the hell they was talking about back in the day. And some college teachers tend to do that. You know, they tell the class, well, if you don't pass my class, and I heard it so many times when I was in college, like, if you don't pass my class, you know, you won't be able to move on to the next level. And so, as opposed to being afraid, like, you know, well, it used to be my school days, whatever, I got to the point where I said, okay, that's just a challenge then for me to study hard and do what I need to do. You know, everybody has those. But it comes to the point where if some of you are teachers, you know, I truly commend you guys for your effort, for your work, and the hard work that you do on teaching and giving knowledge to others. At the same time, don't use that BS fear factor on your students, because at the end of the day, you never know who may be going through something to where they can't concentrate properly. So the best way I would say to do is, you know, just keep, you know, just we need to keep it real, but keep it fun, you know, just let folks know. Let's say, hey, let's say, you know, you study hard and put in the work, you pass the class. If you don't study because of outside objections, you know, set a time, you know, give them something that they can, get something like, you know, you guys can set a time, like you basic schedule to study for like a couple minutes, put on some classical music, instrumental, jazz, whatever, that will actually keep their focus and guarantee they pass the class. I mean, something like that, something to give encouraging. Even, you know, at certain jobs, you know, get to lessons, whatever. Like I work at LAX, so we do lessons off of what's going on, you know, around LAX, around the aircraft and things of that nature. And, you know, they, you know, and I'll put this way, you know, it does say, you know, don't give other answers to your peers or whatnot, which is true. At the same time, it's like, you know, if everybody needs help, that's working with you inside the job. Keyword, that's working with you at the job. You know, they doing the same lesson that you doing. You know, just tell them like straight up, like, hey, you know, we can work together and whatnot. I mean, it's simple, easy questions and whatnot. It's simple common knowledge because you're out on the airfield doing what you were reading about. So that's like the same thing too, you know, like in the school system. I truly believe, you know, that tests, multiple choice and all that type of stuff, you know, they like if you cheat, you know, you fail the class or things of that nature. And it's like, you know what, how about, as opposed to saying you fail the class, but you have groups where folks do the test together. That way folks have discussions and, you know, see who studied what. Remember, you know, the answers. But we take that type of systematic of school fear of failing and we use that with life. We use that with, okay, well, this opportunity didn't work out, so I'm just going to follow in the circle and the ball and not continue to push. No, the grace continue to push. The reason why I mentioned earlier, if you guys got the iPhone 7, not because like, oh, you guys got the latest phone, it's because you really think about it. Steve Jobs, he didn't really think about making a damn iPhone way back in the day when he came out with the first Apple computer. You know, with him and Steve Wozniak, you know, came out with the first Apple computer and things of that nature, and then things just went off on them. But remember, they had to go through a lot of failures in order to succeed and get to where they was at. You know, granted, things haven't a different path for them, but even when Steve Jobs got kicked out from Apple as being CEO, and he had to do from Pepsi, whatever, Coca-Cola taking over and almost ran the business down. And Steve Jobs was still doing the same. He came out with the next computer, didn't really sell, but he had the vision. He had got out his shyness. He let fear get in his way. He wasn't afraid of failing. He failed so many times where he came back to Apple. You see what Apple is right now, even after his death. It's a multi-billion-dollar corporation. And I mean, folks hate on Apple, folks hate on the iPhones and things of that nature, and the MacBooks, like the same thing and stuff like that. But here's the thing, and I was thinking about this yesterday too, because I was trying to figure out how I was going to say this in the podcast. It's like most of you that got Android phones, you guys are really, to be honest, and I'll really don't mean to say this, but half you guys are very ignorant, and you're not ignorant and you're not stupid. You just misinformed. I mean, I'm a techie and I'm a geek and a nerd, entrepreneur, he's producer, have a little bit of a gangster side because I grew up in South Central Los Angeles, California. So don't get the game twisted. I can speak that properness, but get in my bad side and I speak that hood shit real quick. Excuse my language, I wasn't trying to bring it out, but you guys see what I mean though. But other than that, I'm a techie, which means, I like technology. And the crazy thing with Android is nothing but an operating software, which is called an OS, for those of you that don't know what an OS is. OS stands for operated software, which means it's software that's created by a company that is distribute to other brands like Samsung, HTC. I'm about to say next, so I'm tripping. But Samsung, HTC, LG, Google Pixel, which is now, what was the Google Nexus, but it's called the Google Pixel. Phone companies like that, that uses Android, Asus, Alcatel, Sony. Actually, Sony used their own OS or whatnot. BlackBerry, which had left their little system and had adopted Android into their ecosystem or whatnot. For those of you that use Android phones, for you guys actually buying the brand names and things of that nature, like Samsung, it's sad what's happening with Samsung right now with the Note 7s. I was going to actually get a Note 7 supposed to the iPhone 7 Plus. And the reason I was going to get a Note 7, I was going to get it for business purposes. But after seeing the recent news, phone catching on fire, thing of that nature, exploding, and actually pictures some proof, and I'm like, whoa, what's really happening? This is bad. And of course, Apple had it at a point, but they didn't have it as bad like Samsung has it now. Like Samsung is losing billions of dollars right now. Apple is gaining billions of dollars. Apple's marketing is ridiculous. For those of you that are in network marketing or any marketing at all, even I'm doing it right now myself. It's like I'm studying how the way they market their products and things of that nature, and it's just it's crazy because they had the financial funds to do it, but it's like they don't really bash other companies. Samsung keep trying to bash Apple. They had done so many times that in your campaigns. The crazy thing is Apple always make more money on the pre-orders and the releases on the selling their phones than Samsung. I mean, if you guys have noticed, you see a little bit commercials on television that says, if you join AT&T, get a free iPhone. You rarely see, where they start pushing the older phones out for those phones and whatnot. That's when everybody, everybody has it. But with Samsung, it's like every commercial, it's like, okay, join Verizon and get 4, Galaxy, whatever phones for free after you sign up, and it's like you see more of that crap than you do Apple. Why is that? Because Apple branding knows how to brand and things of that nature. Apple knows now how to be shy with what they're doing, and at the same time, you look at Samsung, and the reason why I mentioned this, like I said before, Steve Jobs had a vision. He went with it, a little bit shy, whatever. He was like, okay, if I fail, I fail. If not, we'll see what happens. And you saw what happened. You see what happened now. Most folks just hate on the new iPhone. It's all cool. Y'all can hate all y'all want. I used to be an Android fan. I mean, I still like Android too, whatever. But Android, low key, you lose more personal information than you do on Apple. I'm just keeping it real, especially, when it comes to Google's software. And I like Google too. They are a good company. But when they keep asking for access to your whole damn information and emails and things of that nature, it's like, okay, y'all asking a little bit too much. Apple, not that much. Really not that much. And things of that nature. So I'm not dissing none of the brands. I'm not dissing AT&T, Verizon, Google, Android. I'm not dissing none of them, or Samsung. I'm not dissing nobody. I'm not. I'm just giving you guys examples of what's really going on, on how one person could impact a whole culture, people of many different races and backgrounds, whatever, into a product that is now influencing everyday lives, and that is crazy. So on Daily Tips Thursdays, September 15, 2016, I said, you have a gift within you that's ready to come out for the world to see. Why have you let life take away your gift and dream? Kick life's ass and live out the gift, goal, and dream that was set upon you. The reason why I had created that post yesterday was because, like I said before, there's a whole lot going on in my world right now, in the world of terms of people that I know that's very, very close. And I can easily tell they are, if they look beaten down by life and things of that nature. Like things not really going the way that they thought it was going to go and stuff like that. At the same time, they let life get them down. And in a sense, they seem as if they getting weak-minded. And so it's just some hard, because I was looking for what topic I want to post, and just came from above, and it's like, let's go ahead and write about, post that up. And I was thinking about it earlier too, after I had came home and things of that nature. And the question I want to give to you guys is, what made you give up on your dreams? What part in your life made you say, okay, I'm going to give up hope. I'm going to be weak-minded. I'm not going to push forward. What made you do that? Because in our world, society, we, don't really cater to the weak. We cater to the strong. I mean, life is whipping your ass right now, and guess what? You need to get back up and fight life. You need to tell life, you can knock me down as many times as you want, but I'm about to get back up, go gangster on you, and still push through, no matter what. I'm going to still fail for it, and still try to get these opportunities wherever they may be. And if I fail, I fail. It is what it is. It's going to be a life lesson. So when it's a life lesson, that's when you learn. And when you learn from that lesson, that's when the blessing comes in. So you guys gotta keep your dreams alive and things of that nature. Even if you feel bored, whatever, you gotta keep it pushing. You can't not just be on the wayside and just falling down and crying and get into a ball and sleep all the time and things of that nature. Trust me, if you are an entrepreneur, you know how tough this shit is. At the same time, excuse my language too, ladies and gentlemen, excuse my language, but you also know too, at the same time, that you're gonna have your year where it's gonna be just on a crack and business is popping, things is booming, the money is coming in, things is just like, hey, it's like this track called Somebody's Pressuring Me that had created with the bounce, to it. Have you guys, saying, if you don't listen to instrumental type of hip hop or whatever, like I said, I have my own genre, so my genre is mixed up with every genre that you think of. So, yeah, this is that bounce that you guys can dance to. Give a damn what color. I don't care if you're white, black, Spanish, whatever. If you can dig this beat in the background while I'm talking on it, you guys can dig it. But you guys hear what I'm saying, though? You cannot let life just beat you down. You gotta get back up. You gotta fight life. I mentioned this last week and the week before last. Another two podcasts as well. I was cursing up in there, like really cursing up and up in there. I wasn't trying to, but I had to have to hit some of you guys' ears with the realness, because you ain't gonna hear the realness from most entrepreneurs. But like I said before, with some of our entrepreneur, buddies and things of that nature, they may have great years and they all have a great year whenever things is booming. And things may slow down, life may hit with different things.